in our panelists and our participators right here on the show. To join the conversation, all you have to do, again, remember, it's WhatsApp at our WhatsApp line at 0809-234-5913. Olumide, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Adu. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
It was a lot of difficulty getting into you and participating, joining the show. Anyway, I'm on now, and I hope you can hear me as well.
Yeah, very loud and clear.
All right, great. I see Loretta is in the building. Loretta, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm happy to be back.
Good to have you. I hope you brought some chicken when you came back off your trip.
No.
Okay. Anyway, just in case you didn't know, Nairametrics is, is ones we do this show in partnership with, and every time you need a website to go to, a place to go to get the best on personal finance and things that will help you generally become better in your investing, in your analysis of the markets, understand what's going on around you, news, and pretty much anything in that space. Just simply go to nairametrics.com and they've got you covered. It's the #1 hub for that in the country. So let's just get straight into the questions now. And the first one here is from a listener who's asking and saying, what is happening with crypto? My investments have gone down massively.
Wow.
The question is, should I sell?
Well, that's a good question. And also, I think it's a 3-way scenario. First of all, what really is happening in the market is that we're seeing that Bitcoin, that happens to be the pioneer crypto, losing as much as $20,000 in the past 4 weeks. And that's because there've been some macros that's been betting on the crypto asset. If you look at Elon Musk's recent comments about the environmental impact crypto had, and the fact that Tesla wasn't going to accept it as a form of payment, that triggered some selling pressure. Then you also need to consider that inflation rate at the world's most powerful economy, that's the United States, is moving about 4%. So at one point, market pundits are expecting that the market will at one point tighten. So people are reducing their selling pressure. But if you invested in the crypto market for a couple of years, you seem not unbothered because the crypto market has given thousands of percentage gain in that period. But for new investors that have gotten so exposed, yes, it's a smart decision to reduce your positions, because we've already warned you that you shouldn't put more than 10 to 20% of your net earnings in this market, because the market can virtually go as low as possible. And that's really what's happening. So for long-term position sellers, losing 100% out of 2,000% won't really have so much impact. So, I expect the market will at one point pick up, but the problem is the deep gets becoming deeper. So what's your opportunity cost when you consider the implied risk in play? Thank you.
So environment, it depends on the level of investment at this individual.
Yes, and when that investment was made, if the investment was made this year, I'm sure at one point he will be in a loss, except he bought in the early around January, February, so he can reduce his position. But if it's at a loss, he can cut his losses deeper. So that, because the way it's going, Bitcoin has broken below 40,000 mark, and that's a strong support level. If Bitcoin doesn't close above that at the end of today, I see it trickling down to 35. And if it gets to 35, because a lot of people are already getting bonds. Recent data from Binance shows that the amount of Bitcoin on the exchange is at record. I mean, a lot of people want to sell. That's really what's happening now. But I think at one point, the rationality in the market will calm down.
All right, Olumide. Also, we have on the platform Ajibola. Ajibola is also joining us today. Ajibola, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you for having me.
All right. Just wanted to be sure that you were following as well. So, Ajibola, I'm going to be asking you some questions because we need all the minds we can get here.
Yeah.
Lots of questions. as well. Anyway, another question here is from someone. I think, Loretta, you might be able to help us with this. It says, hello, money team. I need your help. I have a significant amount of Airtel shares, but my broker for the past 5 to 6 months have kept saying they can't buy any buyers. How is this possible?
Okay, well, there's a lot of controversy around that, to be honest, and I do not even think I'm in the best position to explain what is going on there. Olumide, do you want to chip?
Yeah, I think the narrative is that Airtel is listed on the Nigerian stock market and it's a blue chip stock, meaning that it's NSE 30. So I think there are a lot of market makers. I think the problem the person writing the question has is that maybe at one point the price he wants to sell wasn't executed because the stock is very liquid and the stock is not under suspension. So I think you need to go back to your stockbroker and try and check the price you placed on the stock. If you place the price of the stock at market prices, it will be executed because this is a stock that has done more than 100% last year, and investors are already rushing to it because it's paying dollar dividend based on last year's metrics. So I think if you place the stock on market prices to be executed. Thank you.
So the person is the stockbroker is given a feedback, and the feedback is they can't buy any buyers.
They can't find any buyers.
They can't buy any buyers.
No,
I think the person maybe can't find anyone.
I think okay, yeah. I think the word is you can't find any buyers because you don't buy buyers, Adu.
Oh, okay.
You look for buyers in the market or sellers, you know. So the thing is that you see, even if you can't even find buyers, we have what we call market makers. Market makers are they provide liquidity in the market. And like I said, Airtel is an NSE 30 stock. So the stock is usually has some form of liquidity. You understand? So I think all he needs to do is go to his broker and they need to look at the price he placed, because sometimes people place the prices far higher than the market price. So it becomes an issue of the market not being able to execute that order. But if you place your order at that price, to date, I think you are fair to go.
Okay, so
if I may, I think majorly the issue is because Airtel is actually fairly illiquid in the market, most likely because of the current prices trading. Price is currently trading is 930 naira per share. And over the last 7 days, the liquidity is just, and that means in a day, the average that it has traded in a day is about 400 units per day. So it depends on also what the what's called individual is trying to sell. If the person is trying to sell maybe like 10,000 units of Airtel at once, that's going to be a little bit difficult because averagely in a day, only 400 units over the last 7 days, as I'm looking at it right now, only 400 units is at an average of 400 units is being sold every day. So that's going to be a little bit difficult for brokers to actually sell off that shares. All I can translate this as this: the concentration of Airtel shares is with some, high volume of individuals that are, what is it called? The ones that are more or less controlling the company. Maybe the board of directors or maybe the chairman of the organization have high concentration of this share. So the amount of shares in the market is actually very, very low, or the volume of shares in the market trading is actually very, very low. So that could also be the reason why that the broker has not been able to sell the shares.
Oh, okay. Since I have you now, Ajibola, could you help me with this? A listener joins us on WhatsApp, says, good morning all. His name is Edwin. He says, I want to find out if the following coins will get to $1 before the end of 2021. FEG, Pitbull, SafeMoon Cash, Shiba Inu, and SafeMoon. Yeah, I think that's it. SafeMoon Cash, Shiba Inu, and SafeMoon, FEG, Pitbull.
Okay, I know for a fact that Shiba Inu would most likely not get to $8 because currently I think it's trading even less than a fraction of a cent right now. So for it to get to $1 with the amount of volume that is trading, you're saying that its market capitalization would literally surpass that of maybe Ethereum and what's it called, and other high value than what's it called cryptocurrency. So I'm sure Shiba Inu will definitely not get to that. For SafeMoon, it's quite possible because what's it called? SafeMoon is actually a very, very good cryptocurrency to hold. And the project has actually been doing a lot of upgrades this year. And I think towards the end of the year, they should be launching their own swap site if they've not already launched it. I'm not 100% sure. And I'm sorry, the other coins you mentioned?
Feg Pitbull. The Feg?
Okay. I'm not sure what those coins are, but definitely as soon as I check them out, I would come back to the show and give that reply, because this is the first time I'm hearing about those coins.
Okay, let me help on that. I think those coins, they are altcoins like Kibola has pointed out. But you see, the thing about it is that a lot of people need to understand that these coins have some questionable fundamentals. Like we spoke about Shiba having that kind of volume traded at one point, and there was a point where an investor had about 50% of the liquidity, and that sometimes cushioned some of the volatility we are seeing in play. I think what listeners need to understand is that when you're investing in assets like this, it's almost impossible to gauge the prices in the long term. But looking at key value of investment, when you do your due diligence, understanding the white paper, the team, what the project is about, all those things will help you. Yeah, we can't really give you a specific scenario of a price getting. Nobody anticipated that Bitcoin would drop 38,000 today, but the market price patterns had already given hints that the storm was building. So I think what the listener needs to understand is that this is not the time to guess. This is time to reduce your exposure, key in on value assets, do your personal research. We can't give you prices here. We don't do that in Nairametrics. We are data driven. You understand? We don't do guess and buy. So I think the onion stops at him. He needs to go into personal research. Thank you.
I like the way you said we don't do guess and buy, so that the guy doesn't go and put all his life savings in there and says, oh, it was Olumide that said it, I should do it. Anyway, Loretta, here's another question I think you might want to help us with. This person is asking, where do you recommend I get a loan to build my tailoring business? I'm a tailor and I'd like to start my business. I need a loan to get up and running.
Well, it depends on the scale. A lot of times when we get questions like this, we don't have a full picture. So I don't know if your tailoring is just for, if it's a self-sustaining business or it's something you want to take to, huge scale and all of that. But I would advise, particularly, in the period we're in, I would advise that if you're getting a loan, before you think of getting a bank loan or any other of the structured ones, try the more unstructured ones, like from friends and family members, maybe crowdfunding with friends, set up some kind of package where they can get returns, explore all other options. Personally, that's what I would advise. Explore other options before you think of the structured loans, like bank loans. Because, if the business doesn't go well, particularly in this period again, if it doesn't move well, maybe people don't have enough money to afford you or something. You do not want to get strapped. Yeah.
All right, then. Because of the time we have, there are some questions I might just collapse. Okay, but before that, Olumide, someone is asking here, and I know you're always talking about Tesla. This person said, is this a good time to buy Tesla stocks?
That's another tricky question. I think the listener need to understand there are two macros surrounding Tesla right now. There is an institutional investor that made a large position that Tesla shares would drop, and that's really not a good one. Then the second thing is that because of the Bitcoin sentiment around Tesla, investors also reduce their selling position as they fight back to Elon Musk But you see, one of the things I've noticed about that stock is that short sellers often get bonds because the stock is not moving with the fundamental investment metrics. Its price to book ratio is expensive. Its EPS is not so high. The stock is at a premium, but still, the stock is still performing well. But I think for me, it's a two-way thing. If you have a lot of if you have so much funds that you want to throw in, then I think you should just tip a bit into it because Joe Biden has already hammered that he's going to invest a lot of his funds in renewables, and that is Tesla's strong strength. So we are going to see that at least the market funds expect that at least 4 to 5% of that amount, trillions of dollars, will trickle into Tesla. So you do the math. If that kind of funds get to Tesla, that will increase record earning, and also the demand coming from the world's biggest car market, that is China, is also pushing Tesla shares record. So I think that amid the competition, the Bitcoin volatility, and the fact that inflation rates might at one point get high, it's smart for the investors to just start by tiptoeing into the market.
All right, then. So I'm going to collapse two questions. Ajibola, you might just want to help me with this. First is your opinion on stocks and share and the bond market and treasury bills. This person would like to know your opinion in terms of stock and share, but I'm collapsing it with another question here that says, why are Nigerian mutual funds given such low returns this year?
Okay.
So the person wants to know your opinion on stocks and share in terms of the Nigerian scape, the bond market, treasury bills, and why are Nigerian mutual funds given such low returns this year? You want to help with that?
Okay, so stocks, treasury bills, what's it called, and bonds. Yeah, so trust me, that is really dependent on an individual's risk appetite. So because the stock market is low to medium risk, sometimes it could be high risk depending on the kind of stock you're buying. But the treasury bill and the bond market more or less guarantee your returns on payment. So it really depends on you as an investor, if you're the cautious investor, you don't like to lose any money, or if you're an investor that likes to take educated or calculated risk in the stock market on, certain stocks. So that really depends on the, the risk appetite of the individual. And also to consider, the current inflation rate is around 18.12%. So investors would be looking to make returns more than that rate. And honestly, the bond and the treasury bill markets most likely would not give you that level of return in a year. So a lot of people would more or less dive into the stock market where it's quite possible for you to get that level of return. And for the mutual funds question, yes, the mutual funds right now are given low rates because of the current issue with excuse me. With the current issue with the current rates in the treasury bill market, sorry. So the rates are extremely low. So mutual funds would not want to, shoot themselves in the legs by guaranteeing high returns when they know they can't actually make those level of returns. And mutual funds will more or less want to put their investments more in safety net investments than high risk investments, where it's likely for them to lose that money. So it's quite the reason why, the mutual fund rates are actually very, very low. So that's the major reason.
So that's because they're somewhat dependent on the other markets that you talked about earlier.
Yeah, so the concentration of those funds go into safety net investments, guaranteed investments, rather than the stock markets where there's a lot of risks involved, or the crypto market if they are investing in crypto, that kind of thing.
And Loretta, I was going to ask, okay, you want to say something? I was going to ask, someone asked that they want to know where they can put their money to get returns above inflation. Maybe you can add that to whatever it is you want to say.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I've never really been a proponent of treasury bills because I've always considered it a very lazy way to invest. And I would say simply because I would say maybe my risk appetite is high. But over the years, you've seen where people just save up their cash and then invest it in treasury bills, like it's going to pay me a good dividend and I'll be fine forever and ever, you know. And for the mutual funds, yeah, ordinarily mutual funds should give you an option. So you should be able to say, okay, if I want to significantly increase my income, the mutual funds will invest in, so there'll be a fund probably that will invest in real estate or some other areas that will give you, you know, something more exciting. But it appears that over the years, everybody, like a majority of people, including these funds, have gotten dependent on mutual funds. And now that all of these, you know, let's call them bad things, have come together to affect that space, people are, you know, they're struggling for air. Now, with inflation rates, to the question, at inflation rates over 18%, it is clear that, you know, there's nothing you can do with low risk investments, and they can't help you mitigate that inflation risk, or that high rate of inflation at this point. So at this point, if you want to make anything above inflation, then you need to really get into it and take a little bit of risk.
You have to put some skin in the game.
Yeah, you have to put some skin in the game. You just have to, because there is no low risk assets that's going to prevent that. So now, if you want to, if you're asking for what investments you can do to give your returns above inflation, first question, I mean, there are so many questions to ask. First, how much money do you have? How much long, how much risk can you take? How long are you willing to wait for this to materialize? You want to put it now and expect that in the next 2 months you'd be a millionaire, you know, things like that. But because I am also an intellectual, I'll advise invest in yourself. So learn, develop skills, build a business that can possibly help, believe in something. But either way, whether you're investing in cryptos or in foreign stocks or in your personal business, you're going to need to take some risk, including the agri-tech markets. You're going to need to take some risk that could possibly reduce your cash. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Loretta. Thank you, Ajibola, and thank you, Olumide. We have come to the point where we have to say au revoir. But just in case you're listening to us on radio and you're part of the panelists online as well, do know that you can watch this episode again and again. Just go to YouTube and search for Nairametrics. So youtube.com/Nairametrics. You'll find the video there on the Nairametrics channel. You can watch it over and over again. And don't forget to subscribe to the Stock Select newsletter with ssn.nairametrics.com. It'll help you become a smart investor and give you an insight into what's going on in the stock market. Guys, until we see you again on Wednesday next week, do enjoy the rest of your day, okay? Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bye.